Hello everyone and welcome to the Iconic Insights podcast by Icon Accounting. Just to give you a quick overview of what you can expect in our first episode, it's really just an intro into the series itself. So myself, Shauna, and my co-host Sean are going to sit down, give a bit of a background into our experience at Icon and our experience in the contracting world. And yeah, we'll just have a little chat about what we're going to cover in the podcast, and hopefully after hearing it you'll join us in the future again. Hi everyone and welcome to the first episode of the Iconic Insights podcast by Icon Accounting. I'm Shauna. I'm part of the BD and marketing team here at Icon Accounting. I'm one of your hosts for the season, and I have my co-host Sean Piggott.
So I'm Sean. I am part of the business development team at Icon Accounting too, and delighted to be here. So massive thank you to you, Shauna, for organising all of this. I think it's going to be
exciting,
interesting,
yeah,
and many things.
Better words, maybe.
Yeah, many other things I'm sure along the way. But no, yeah. I think the market has been crying out for this. So hopefully.
Yeah, like definitely, and like even just to give a bit of background probably into ourselves, let's say, before we even start. So I know we mentioned we're part of BD. I'm the marketing. I was BD. I feel like I was an ancient staff member in BD probably for a while. But yeah, I've been with Icon for 5 years, and as you said, like definitely with the experience I've seen in the market, I think this is something that people want. It's almost like you're giving them something just to learn from. I think that's what recruiters, like contractors, like everyone just wants to know something that they don't potentially know.
Definitely. We always get obviously people reaching out to us, and we do as much as we can from a newsletter perspective, and we're constantly trying to educate and inform, and like you say, webinars, newsletters, all the rest. But hopefully this, I suppose, medium will make it a little bit less, I suppose, scheduled to a certain extent, and people can kind of tap in and out.
Informal. Yeah, I would say, like, it's a chat.
Right? I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. Maybe we'll learn something.
No pressure.
Well. So yeah, why don't we start with our quickfire questions then?
Yeah, so I suppose this is going to be part of the series in general, isn't it? This is going to be something that we ask every guest. So I'm going to ask you the question first, and then I'm going to answer it with my answer. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, so first question is, what was your first job title?
I actually worked in BAM. I worked in BAM, and I was an office administration.
Yeah. Office administration will do. Yeah. What was my first job title? Other than chief messer, I would say in school, I would say my first professional job title was, it was actually, what would you call someone that works on like a restaurant floor and floor staff? Would you say that? I worked in hospitality and floor staff first. Then went on to retail for all my sins. So yeah, that's where I started out. What word do you hate hearing? Which is an interesting one.
Yeah, I'd say you would know this. No, I think I'll have to go with no. I like yes to be the answer to everything for me.
Oh, never a true word spoken. Never a true word spoken. Mine's quite similar, to be honest. My word, I would say, is can't. Mm-hmm. Like I can't or I cannot. Obviously can't is probably more popular and more used. But yeah, I don't like the word can't. I don't think.
Yeah, I think you push people to.
Yeah,
excel, and try.
Yeah, exactly. Try, 100%.
Just no, I can't. Put them together. No, I can't.
Okay, next one is, if you had to change your first name, what would you change it to?
Lily.
Lily.
Yeah.
Which is your?
It's my middle name. Yeah. Middle name. Yeah. Well, my name is Shauna Lily, but yeah.
And would you like to go Lily Shauna or? Just Lily?
No, just Lily. Just Lily. Yeah.
If I had to change my first name, what would I change it to? Probably Lester, because the first thing, as soon as I say my full name, the first thing that I get is, oh, you any relation to Lester? Lester was a famous jockey.
Oh, I'm like, yeah.
Donkeys years ago.
No clue.
But there's not many famous Piggotts out there, so I think Lester's probably the
You would
most.
Definitely get that a lot more as well. Oh, are you related to Lester?
Yeah. Typically around March time when Cheltenham is just about to take off. Are you an early bird or a night owl, Shauna?
Oh, I would say I'm an early bird.
I think you can do both.
Yeah, I feel like my partner would probably say you're definitely not an early bird, but I feel like I am. And that's the main thing.
I would definitely say I'm an early bird, to be honest.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Early bird, 100%. Go get it. What is your go-to comfort food is the next question.
Oh, I do love chocolate. I love chocolate ice cream.
What chocolate?
Any.
What's your favourite chocolate?
I'd say actually at the moment, and I feel like it's just like a routine I've gotten into buying them all the time, it's Maltesers. So not like full chocolate, but yeah, okay. I like my sweets.
So that's your go-to comfort food?
Probably at the moment,
okay. What's my go-to comfort food? I am as bland as they come, to be honest. I get an awful lot of stick for it in the office. I don't
chicken fillet roll.
Yeah, like you can't beat a chicken fillet roll. Like, do you know what I mean? It's consistent. Yeah, I'd probably go with a chicken fillet roll, actually, to be honest. Bit of taco sauce. Bob's your uncle. What's your favourite type of music, Shauna?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of feel like at the moment I like indie. Okay. I like everything. Yeah, like I don't have...
Yeah, there's no... Yeah, you do have quite a varied music taste from the office. I can
in the office, I
can attest to that. Favourite type of music for me would probably be... I'm a real 90s R&B would be my guilty pleasure. That's, but again, I like that would be my go-to.
Yes. Sometimes we do have a bit of back and forth on your music choice. I will give you that.
There can be some arguments, but it does vary, to be fair. But I would say 90s R&B is probably my favourite type. Name one thing you can't live without, other than coffee.
Oh, wine.
Fair.
Yeah, I do like a glass of wine. Just chill glass of wine to chill out.
Yeah. I'm going to make you look bad here and I'm going to say family. The best advice you've ever received?
Stop worrying and everything will work out. Like, don't overthink.
Yeah.
Like, just let it happen.
Yeah,
like, whatever happens. Like,
that is solid advice, to be fair. Solid advice. And we can get caught up in things like, which is very easy. What's the best advice I've ever received? If you're going to do something, do it right.
Yeah.
Do it once, do it right.
I have heard that from you before. I feel like I think it was their International Men's Day.
Yeah,
you had an answer like that, and I was
and I hope I answered the same.
No, you did. Yeah, I remember.
It's something I try to live by. That, you know, if you're gonna put in the effort to do something, at least give it your all, kind of, and don't have to do anything. Do you have pets? Yeah,
I have a little dog, Honey. She's just getting there. She's quite old.
Yeah. Bless her. What kind of a dog is it?
A little Shih Tzu.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Lovely. I don't have pets. I don't know if children count, and I'm probably going to undo that good answer I just gave a minute ago with regards to family. But no, I don't. I did for a very long time.
I have heard this story.
Tragic story.
We won't get into that.
So we won't get into it. But not ready to move on from that just yet. But hopefully in the very near future. What has been your favourite age so far? Oh, this gave me a flashback. I think it was just before your 25th birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I remember we were having a conversation in the office and Melissa and Ciara were in the...
I'm like, I hope it's not the one I'm actually thinking of.
Well, I don't know. Touch wood. But I remember it being a case that you were... Well, we've all kind of had our...
Oh, it is. It is the conversation, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to bring it back up now. Sorry. But we've all had our slaggings to me. I have a few grey hairs now. I'm unfortunately in my third... What do you call it? Trimester of life? No, my third decade, I suppose, on Earth. So it came up as that part of, I suppose, me approaching 30. And again, I knew that you were kind of approaching 25.
Yeah.
And I reminded you. I reminded you that, you know, in the X Factor, it's the 25 and overs. You'd be falling into. And no judge ever wants the 25 and overs. So
yeah, I was devastated to say the least. I think my face dropped that day on his stage. I'll never forget the entire day.
What age do you think is your favourite age though that you've lived so far? It's a tough question. Like,
I feel like I would like to say 24 then probably. I don't want to give 25 now because I'm like trauma. 24, 23, 24 I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think to me it was probably 17. Like, I live quite rurally. So the freedom to be able to actually drive a car and, you know, not have to get a tractor license.
17?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Had to be.
Well, you know that is.
So yeah, 17 I think was mine. Favourite hobby outside of work, other than drinking wine, which you've given away already?
I like the gym. I do like to train quite a lot.
You do, to be fair.
On and off.
No, I wouldn't. I would say you're quite consistent, to be fair.
Have my habits, but yeah, on and off. I don't take it too seriously anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like training.
For me, it's probably football. I'm not playing as much, unfortunately, but I suppose watching Aston Villa is a big part of my life. I was
trying to think who the Sean support. I was like, how is this gone from my head?
Aston Villa, which is a lot more enjoyable this year than it is normally, to be honest. So I'm going to keep that going.
Yeah.
What's the last concert you attended?
Oh, well, I'm like, I don't know if this is the last one I've went to now, but
Last
probably
one you can remember.
Yeah, that I actually remember, which isn't a good sentence
That'll do,
either.
yeah. That's age, by the way.
Robbie Williams.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I do like Robbie now. I go to like.
What a man. I don't think anyone can not like Robbie Williams. Last concert I went to was the New Year's Eve celebration on the Quays last year.
Oh yeah, that is good.
Yeah, that in fairness, that was really good. Really enjoyed that. I brought all my family. And they loved it. It was freezing, but it was still very, very good. Top item on your bucket list. Interesting.
I feel like I've done a few of them this year.
Wow, good.
Yeah, I done like my skydive, and that was probably the top of it. I feel like no, it's not like. Not an enjoyable experience, I would say, but I want to do a marathon next, I think.
Yeah, good.
So
yeah,
that would be on the bucket list, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to
I think you'll
actually
fly
training.
that. I think you'll fly
and doing the marathon.
Someone with your discipline and consistency. Top item on my bucket list would probably be like a real African safari. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like in the depths of a jungle somewhere.
I always want to do that. Yeah.
I think I'd love that. But again, I don't see it happening next year. So we'll try to get another couple of years of life out of me before I suppose that happens.
You have to bring the kids then.
No,
they're going to get to that age that they're going to be like, you left me at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like it's going to be, to me, being in a jungle, like having that extra responsibility, like at least, even with my partner, like it's like, look, it's every man and woman for themselves. Like, but when you bring the kids, it's like, well, I'm going to have to carry them too. Last question on this quickfire, which hasn't been so quickfire, but again, have you ever won a contest?
Oh, I did actually. Remember I done the pigeon shooting.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I done the pigeon shooting, and it was a memory day basically. As part of that, they done a raffle, and yeah, I was pulled out to get a prize, but it was more kind of men orientated prizes, so I ended up getting a hat.
Have I ever won a contest? I would say no, to be honest. I always say to myself that I wouldn't win an argument because I don't seem to have any luck. But yeah, probably a raffle was probably the last thing I won, to be honest. Something pure luck, but I don't think I've actually won a contest. Yeah. Well, actually, like if I'm going way back, like taekwondo and stuff like that, I would have.
Very competitive here now.
Yeah,
I used to.
I want to get that on camera, like, but no, that probably was the last thing that I actually won. That wasn't just pure luck; it was based on merit. So yeah, there's our quickfire 20 questions.
I feel like I got prepared the questions and I could not remember any of them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And if there's any other questions actually that you would like us to ask our guests, just to get some further insight into who they are and what they are, please feel free to let us know, and we'll be more than happy to add them, or I suppose amend the ones that we have, just to make sure that it remains as quickfire as possible.
Yeah.
So what's
Don't
next?
Don't get Shauna to answer them again, basically.
What's next?
I think basically an insight into why we're actually here. I think we should really answer the 5 W's, as I would say, like who, what, when, where, and why. Make sure.
Obviously a marketing term, so.
No, it's your 5 whys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are we here?
I actually think we kind of summarised it quite well initially when we started having our little chat. It's for me, it was basically I obviously was on the BD team for years. I on a daily basis would speak to people, and they knew they were moving into contracting, self-employment, being independent as a professional, and that process, obviously it's a really exciting one, and you want to, guide people and help them really as much as you can. And once they kind of realised what they actually could do in the future, and seeing people progress as well through time, having the contractor Christmas party and people being coming up to you and you're like, oh, you actually helped me set up, and I've been doing it for 2 years now, and you're like, how?
Yeah, when I was on the fence, probably, initially when I got the offer or whatever. Yeah, that is interesting. That is really interesting.
That's basically my why, is to give the insight into how everything works. And it's not just, I would say, obviously, we're going to specialise on accounting, contracting, but just the whole operation of a business, if that's what someone wants to, expand into in the future, is let's cover everything, and maybe that will highlight something to someone that makes that move a little bit easier for them.
Yeah, definitely. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, to be honest, Shauna, because technically when someone is starting in a contract position for the first time, some people will just see it as, oh well, it's just a job.
Yeah.
Other clients will see it as this is the start of me, creating my own brand and being my own business. So I think accountancy is quite broad in its nature. Obviously,
Yes.
you know, there's very rarely two conversations that go the exact same way when you're speaking to someone for the first time. So I think my why is to try and give people what they need to know, and just in, you know, I suppose a different kind of medium, because again, I don't think many people, as much as, don't get me wrong, I love your newsletter, I'm not trying to say but no, I think that, like, with the, I suppose, the demographics change and etc., I think that the more information we have out there and the more kind of, I suppose, education we can put around contracting, the better for the overall industry. So that's my why.
I think that's a good why. I think so with my who, let's say, I kind of was like thinking of it in like two different ways, like who is it for, and then who is actually going to be guests on the podcast.
Okay, we'll do both, I think.
Yeah. So I think with the who, let's say that we might have on the podcast, I think we want to give like probably a bit of an insight into the culture at Icon Accounting, because it is like phenomenal. Like it's the best culture I've ever seen in a business.
100%.
So we will definitely have some familiar faces from
some
the
of
Icon.
the team.
Oh yeah,
nice.
If they will agree to come on with me,
we'll
with us. And yeah, I think like we'll have, let's say, some of the partners, probably some of the contractors on as well.
Love to get some of the contractors on. I think that would be,
it's their journey, like so I think, and I think when someone hears someone else talk about their journey, like they're like, right, I'll make that move now. It's like, it's, you know, it's different. It's them, like it's their own individual, like making that move, and they've seen someone then talk about their own. Like,
it's almost like verification. That, I am making the right choice here. When they hear, I suppose, someone that was starting in the exact same position, getting to where they've got to. So I'd agree with you there. Definitely, I'd love to get the contractors on. Who else could we get on?
I think
some of our partners, as in, just to go back to that part, the partners being like the likes of Rockwell Financial, Humdinger Mortgages.
Probably some of the recruiters as well,
that would
because
be very interesting. And all their experiences. See if we can give potential contractors some insights into how they can land their first contract, etc. That'd be interesting.
Definitely. And I think we definitely will have some, I would say not random guests.
But left field, let's say.
Yeah,
people you wouldn't necessarily expect.
Like
that'd be nice.
Just different. Like, let's mix it up a bit here.
And
then I think, let's say, who the podcast is for, I would say, again, I think that covers a broad like audience as well. So it's going to be the contractors, maybe potentially someone that is moving into contracting first time.
So what existing and new?
I think recruiters as well.
Those that are, I suppose, new to the game.
Just again, the insights they can learn about the process. You know, they probably will pick up something from even just the chats as well. I think they'd be my two, and then like people that are just, let's say, like at that small business stage as well. I think you've covered them all there, to be fair. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. Like again, from it kind of covers our whole, I suppose, ecosystem, if you like, if that's the word to call it, in terms of people that are interested in contracting, people that are interested in small business or starting out in business, people that we would deal with on a day-to-day basis. So the likes of the recruiters, obviously, and also the partners. I think they'll all bring exceptional value to the podcast. So excited to have them all on. You know where to get us. Please get in touch. What would be the next? I feel like, again, we kind of cover that as well, because like with the who and everything, it all kind of summarizes like everything, really.
Give me one sentence though. Give me one sentence as to what you're trying to deliver on this podcast.
I feel like I'm going to say everything. Like my sentence is going to be like a really long one just to cover it. But it's more so the knowledge and insights for contractors, self-employed individuals, and a community.
Oh, I like that. I like that, because it's always been a big kind of pillar in the Icon Accounting business, is to try and create that sense of community.
Covering everything.
So let's say the what is to try and deliver insights to the entire contracting community and small business community.
Exactly. So I think like even the topics like we have talked about, you know, discussing on the podcast, I think like that is going to cover like everything. It could cover the likes of the umbrella versus the limited company. Like we might do a little debate with the teams here, but even like stuff like that obviously is particularly like contractor related, but even stuff like marketing and
marketing yourself, even
your sales pitch and everything, like we'll cover all of that too. So excellent, looking forward to it. So what's after what? Where? So where are we right now? So I was factory 44.
Unbelievable setup, by the way.
Unbelievable. Guys, if you haven't looked them up, do. They are just after doing a revamp of their space. They're amazing. But yeah, that's where we'll be based. So Dublin City Centre anyways. And what was the last?
When?
Ooh.
So how often? Kind of, is that, I suppose, is that what you're kind of getting at there?
Yeah. I feel like it, to be honest, I'd say it probably fluctuate. I would like to do 1 a month. I would say 1 a month.
Let's try to get 2 a month for the first year.
Okay, we can try to get 2.
That'll be the aim.
I do have it planned out.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah,
apologies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if we got 1 to 2 a month, like there's going to be a lot of insights obviously available, and we can obviously try and build on that next year. But I think that's a good aim to have, is definitely
at least 1.
1 per month. Yeah.
2.
Fair.
Yeah. I've got that now.
Okay, so there's our who, what, when, where, why.
Yes.
And we've had our quick fire questions. So where are we going next?
I think we'll finish with our contractor dilemma.
Okay.
So this is going to be something that we introduce across all the podcast episodes as well. So for any of the contractor community or our network, if you have, let's say, a dilemma or even just a question, you might even want to ask your account manager, just haven't had the time yet, feel free to reach out.
Something that you don't want to ask your account manager. Make it interesting.
But yeah, like, just reach out, let us know. You can reach myself or Shauna on LinkedIn anyways, or you can, email in the team. You can respond on the likes of the newsletter as well. But let's say for the first one, I think this one, it's a good one to start, because I think people are always considering when they should do a review of their setup, and I think it is a thing that people get kind of stuck in a routine, so they don't know when to shake it up. So it is, I am a contractor who has been in the contracting market for 1.5 years. I currently operate under the Director Umbrella Company solution. I do consider that I will continue to contract in the future, whether it be in between other roles or contracting on a continuous basis. So when should I consider a change to my company solution?
Okay, some interesting points there. They're obviously 18 months in contracting, so they understand the whole process. I would say now is a perfect time, to be honest. And I'll give some reasons as to why I feel like that is, I suppose, an adequate answer.
Let's get the facts.
Yeah, it is. And there's another couple of interesting points on that, because obviously some of our clientele will kind of do contract work on the side as well as being, employed or whatever the scenario may be. So I think based on that, it definitely would be worthwhile to consider switching to a personal limited company. Well, what we call a personal limited company. It's obviously a private limited company structure, very similar to the umbrella companies. But there's a lot of benefits towards doing so for this particular contractor that has this dilemma. I would always say that if you wait too long, you'll end up regretting it, and you can't take back that time that you've lost out on. Whereas if you were to move to a personal limited company, it will open an awful lot of doors from a flexibility perspective. It will also give you a lot more opportunity to become long-term tax efficient. And that's something that we might try and pitch to our partners in Rockwell. But yeah, definitely, I would say if you've been contracting for 18 months, you can see yourself contracting for at least another 12 months. I would say it's definitely worthwhile to make, I suppose, at least reach out and have that conversation
with the team.
To kind of get a further kind of, I suppose, perspective as to what's involved, what you need to be aware of. Like, there's obviously some changes. It's not massive. But even the likes of, you do have to create your own business bank account, whereas with the umbrella solution, you don't have to worry about that. It's there. But yeah, now is definitely the time to reach out and discuss that in further detail. And again, that's not to say that it will definitely be right for you, but from that further conversation, after 10 or 15 minutes, they'll know, we'll know, and that's exactly what we're there for, essentially. So I would say reach out now.
I definitely would say the same, to be honest with you. I think when I used to have, let's say, conversations with people that were under the umbrella, or even just considering a change, it was kind of like, right. And it's a difficult question, because it's like no one can tell what's going to happen in 100%. The future. But it's more so like, where do you see yourself going? And let's say with that contractor, they do consider that, they might take breaks now between contracts, and have a different role, let's say, but they are still on the mindset that contracting is going to be part of their future career anyway. So I think particularly one word you mentioned was flexibility there, and having the limited company gives you that flexibility that, you have the company there, you can have your company funds,
retained.
Yeah, there. And that's where you'll get that flexibility that if you're like, okay, you know, I'm going to stop it out for, let's say, the summer or something. It's like, yeah, you can still have your payroll there if you want it. If you don't, fine. But that's your choice, essentially. So, yeah, I think just given that the flexibility they will have in the future, like, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first joined Icon, it was actually like, it was like, and it kind of startled me to a certain extent. I was like, that's genius. But where I actually kind of first got my head around that process was, it was one of our female contractors, and she was going on maternity leave.
Okay.
So what she decided to do essentially was to switch to the personal limited company.
Yes.
To kind of reduce her month-to-month payroll, where again this particular client would have been paid quite well, so they would have been paying a lot of income tax.
Yeah.
She was able to bring that back under control, but also essentially give herself a sense of security for the period where
that she took off.
Exactly, yeah. Or even if she wanted to take kind of extended maternity leave or whatever else, like it was like a safety net to fall into. So back to that flexibility piece. I think that's only one example, obviously, but there's so many different benefits that can be associated. But
definitely,
so that's been good.
Yeah.
That's been good.
I think that's it. I think we've covered everything.
Thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully we haven't bored you with our, I suppose, quick fire questions that went so quick. We hope we've given you some insight into why we're here, how often we'll be here.
Yes.
And yeah, we look forward to, I suppose, catching up again very soon. Any insight into our first guest potentially?
I do. I have. It's a partner.
Just a teaser now.
It's a partner. I would say that's all I'm giving away.
Okay,
that's all I'm giving.
Just a partner.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll leave it there. So I was going to ask you for.
No,
we could get very political there. Okay, I wasn't getting any more anyway. But again, thank you very much. Thank you to you, Shauna, as well, for organising this. Thank you to the guys at Factory 44 who have been absolutely unbelievable so far, and we look forward to working with them hopefully for a very long time.
Yes, definitely. And here's to the iconic insights.
Episode 1. Can we throw these like graduation hats around? No?
Here's like the 1 and the 2.
Episode 1 over and out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.